The movie starts with a brief montage of Earth in ruins. 10 years ago, a solar flare opened up a hole in the ozone layer, raising the temperature to 150 degrees Fahrenheit, and planet Earth has become a largely inhospitable wasteland, exposed to catastrophic weather events and scorched by UV radiation. At the beginning, Finch, one of the few survivors, is shown. He is a robotics engineer who has a suit that protects him from the heat and the UV rays. It's another day, and he's out with his robot, Dewey, looking for supplies. His measurements indicate that the level of UV radiation in the area is quite high when he walks inside a store. The robot takes whatever is left in the store in the meantime. Finch is then seen taking some dog food. After leaving, he marks the area so that he can keep track of the places he's already scavenged. In the next scene, Finch travels through a deserted town that has been ravaged due to the depletion of the ozone layer. The UV rays make it impossible for people to go outside. Hence, the majority of the city has been evacuated. Suddenly, Finch's suit emits a warning that a storm is approaching. He turns the truck around and floors it as the huge storm pursues him. Fortunately, he is able to get to his underground laboratory, which was previously owned by the company he worked for before the disaster. Later, we learn that Finch is dying from tuberculosis. He has a big house where his dog and friend Goodyear await him. He hugs and kisses the dog and then makes the food he found earlier. While Goodyear eats, Finch merely sips on a drink as the supplies are running out. Later, Finch uploads simple instructions to his new project, like how to take care of a dog, how to do household chores, etc., with the assistance of an AI. Since Finch loves Goodyear more than anything, he is working on creating a highly specialized robot to care for him after his death. Sad, but the first film ever to not be about the dog that's going to die. Finch has been conducting a lot of studies on UV rays and radiation exposure. Later, he takes Dewey's eyes and mounts them on his new robot. After turning the robot on, he starts transmitting data to it. The robot then tries to communicate many times, but finally nods its head, which means that the robot understands what Finch is trying to say. Finch is very happy with the robot's response and that he's taken a step further. He also plays with his dog, as he thinks he may have a new friend. Finch then tells the robot to mention something about itself. The robot says that it has some rules, such as not harming humans, but the most essential rule is that in Finch's absence, it must take care of Goodyear at all costs. All of a sudden, the power goes out. Finch goes out to fix the wind turbine. He ties the cable and then the lights come back on. The robot calls itself Jeff. Meanwhile, a gigantic storm is seen coming their way. Finch returns and introduces Jeff to the weather station, where he can make a prediction. In the next 24 hours, for storms will make their way toward them, and they can't outrun them, Jeff says. He also predicts it will persist for about 40 days. Hearing this, Finch thinks they must get out of the place soon. He also assumes that San Francisco is their best bet. Then Finch begins to construct the entire body of the robot. Once it is complete, Finch boosts the transfer rate of the robot and begins to teach him how to walk. Following a bit of practice, Jeff successfully starts walking. While Finch is happy with the progress, Goodyear dislikes the robot and doesn't trust him at all. As the storm approaches, Finch begins to pack all the necessities and also unplugs Jeff's data transfer at 72%. Because of this, Jeff is not fully developed and hence acts like a child. Finch calls Dewey to join them, but he doesn't remember that he had taken out his eyes, so he puts a camera in place so he can see again. The four then climb into an RV and start making their way towards San Francisco. At the start of the ride, Jeff is extremely curious as he tries to learn everything that Finch does. So far, the group has been able to avoid the storm. They then stop by a deserted town. Finch puts on the UV protection suit and calls Jeff to come outside with him. Then he begins to teach Jeff some of the basics of scavenging, and he teaches him about the dangers of the sun. The two also enjoy a bit of fun when they pop some popcorn in the sun. Yes, that's how bad the sun is. But the fun is short-lived as Finch sees the storm coming towards them. He brings them all together and attempts to outrun the storm, but eventually it does catch up to them. Finch runs out with Jeff and tells him to come help tie the RV with wires. When Finch is tired, Jeff takes over and is able to do the job. Finch then enters the RV and locks it up. Then, the big tornado strikes and the wires start to break, one by one, until only one is left. Fortunately, the storm moves on and they all are safe. Finch is pleased with Jeff's efforts, but is disappointed to find that the front tire of the vehicle is damaged. They do have a spare tire, but they don't have a jack to lift the vehicle. But Jeff lifts the vehicle by himself using his strength and tells Finch to change the tire. The following morning, Jeff tries to talk to Goodyear, stating that he is learning the dog's language, but Finch wakes him up and makes him understand that it will take some time for him to be on good terms with Goodyear. Later that day, a board points out that San Francisco is 1,552 miles away. When asked by Jeff about the concept of trust, Finch is stumped and simply tells him his own story. He mentions how he alone solved a software problem during a project, but gave credit to the whole team. In this way, he was able to win their trust. As he tells the story, Finch's health continues to deteriorate. Then they go to a restaurant where Finch vomits blood. Realizing that he doesn't have much time left, Finch takes Goodyear inside the restaurant and starts playing with him. Meanwhile, Jeff is playing with the RV. He plays songs while he is attempting to drive. Because of his clumsiness, he lets go of the handbrake, and the RV hits a car. When Finch confronts Jeff, he is very innocent. He then reverses the RV only to crash it again. When Finch steps into the sunlight, what happens to his skin? He then yells at Jeff that his only duty is to care for Goodyear. Once they're out of the restaurant, Finch decides to teach Jeff to drive. As usual, Jeff is clumsy at first, but eventually he gets the hang of it and begins driving smoothly. The doggo is not so impressed, but Finch is happy about it. At night, they stop by the road to camp. The beautiful northern lights can be seen as the ozone layer is no longer present. Jeff proposes that they drive at night because daylight is dangerous. However, Finch teaches him that hungry people approach at night, and it's dangerous. Finch vomits blood and is also shivering in the morning. Jeff takes good care of him, asking if he should call the doctor. Then they set off on their journey. Upon reaching a big city, Jeff awakens Dewey and they go out to find food and water. They enter a hospital that appears to have been robbed, but Jeff is unaware of this, and so he keeps going into the hospital. When Finch wakes up, he discovers that both the robots are missing. He knows that trouble lies ahead, so despite being extremely weak, he suits up and sets off to find Jeff and Dewey. There's someone watching him from the shadows up there. Jeff is happy to discover food, medicine, even a fancy jacket for himself. In the meantime, Dewey discovers some snacks, but doesn't spot a bear trap nearby. As he reaches for the snacks, the bear trap rips him apart. After a distraught Finch finds him, he apologizes and turns off his power. Dewey wasn't the favorite anyway. Soon, Finch hears a rumbling sound and finds Jeff. Finch stresses that they cannot stay in the place any longer, as it is not safe for them. Both of them then make a run for it, but Finch is barely managing to stay on his feet. When they reach their RV, they immediately speed away, but a vehicle starts following them. Finch gives Jeff the wheel after a while, instructing him not to make any mistakes from now on. He also sees the car still following them. They turn off the headlights as Jeff is able to see in the dark, while the mystery car still pursues them. Finch suggests that Jeff step on the accelerator and speed up, as they are driving into a storm. Finch grabs the wheel and steers it off the road. He plans to take the underpass. Even though Jeff tries to explain that the RV is taller than the underpass, Finch does not listen, and eventually, the RV crashes and the RV's solar panels are destroyed. After the crash, Jeff uses his strength to push the RV inside. The car that was following them comes up to them, but stops for a second, then drives away. When he is sure that everyone is out, Finch goes outside and finds that everyone's solar panels are damaged. He takes responsibility for his bad judgment and adds that he can't fix it. Jeff assures him that he can take them to San Francisco, but Finch snaps at him to stop talking. Then a furious Finch comes back to the vehicle while Jeff is standing outside in the rain. A bit of snooping and Jeff comes in and informs Finch that he believes they will arrive at the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco. Meanwhile, Finch shares another story and relates why he doesn't trust people and how he discovered Goodyear in a bag. He says that Goodyear was scared and that he would protect him no matter what. Hunger can make any good human being a killer, but it made Finch a coward, as he was hiding while some young boys killed a young girl and her mother in a supermarket, Finch adds. The following morning, another sign is posted indicating that there are 480 miles to San Francisco. A weak Finch rests while Jeff is on the wheel. Then, Jeff sees a butterfly on the car window. He stops, rouses Finch and shows him the butterfly. Finch rises and extends his hand to the sun, but it doesn't move. He then steps outside and feels the sun. The UV radiation has decreased to the point where it is no longer a threat. I'm not a scientist, but this is a miracle. He sees a flower and another butterfly and laughs heartily as they go on their way through flowering plain. Later, he gets dressed up, and they plan to have a picnic in the sun, which he hasn't done in more than 10 years. Finch then recounts some more memories of his past and hopes to make more of his life. Jeff is excited to get up and tell them that if they leave now they will be at the Golden Gate Bridge in about 18 hours. However, Finch says that he can't make it. A saddened Jeff then promises to take care of Goodyear when he's gone. Then Finch produces Goodyear's ball and the two play a game of fetch. He then passes the ball to Jeff and tells him that this is one of the first steps to developing trust with a dog. The two then have a brief moment of fun before suddenly, Finch starts coughing up blood. His white suit is now covered in blood. Jeff asks if he can help and Finch says that he has. He then shakes Jeff's hand, and they hug. In this case, Jeff appears to be upset and has feelings as well. Then Jeff helps Finch into the RV, and he lies down. Goodyear comforts Finch as Jeff packs up. Finch pats his beloved buddy on the back one last time before he dies. The two then set fire to Finch on the plains and his RV suit. Once they have finished their morning, Jeff continues Finch's normal routine and feeds the dog. They play fetch again later, and Jeff sees Goodyear begin to change and get comfortable. Jeff also thinks that Goodyear is his problem now, and they go back to work. He befriends Goodyear, who finally accepts him. Finally, they reach the Golden Gate Bridge, where Jeff builds a memorial for Finch. There they discover a number of messages from people to their loved ones, telling them where to find them. This concludes that there are more survivors, with the possibility of family members being reunited. At the end, Jeff hangs his drawing of Finch and Goodyear and himself on the fence, and they go off to a new place. Subscribe to watch more videos like this, leave a comment about your favorite movie, and we will make it next. Thanks for watching.